Put yourself in silence. It's just you and God. You, God, whatever you believe in, your ancestors. It's you and the universe that just sitting there. And let me tell you something. When you sit there with yourself and you have these higher ups and these forces, they're only looking out for the best of you. What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Dope Life Podcast, the dopest podcast ever. And I'm, of course, your host, Coach AJ, Dope Life Coach, the dopest life coach ever. And if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so that you never miss another episode. And it can be oh so lovely and dope, and leave us a rating and review. We will greatly, greatly appreciate it, because that will help our podcast get out to dope individuals just like yourself who are trying to live and love a dope life through self-improvement and personal growth. So today's episode, I really wanted to touch base on this J. Cole and Kendrick beef. Now, to be fair, I did not listen to the diss tracks. And the reason why I didn't listen to the diss tracks was because I love both artists very much. You know what I mean? Like, To Pimp a Butterfly is one of my favorite Kendrick Lamar albums. And I got some mixtape tracks that I used to follow with J. Cole. In fact, I saw him live when he was just starting out. So I was very much like, nope, not listening to it. But there was a key thing that happened just recently where J. Cole actually said something at his concert. And there was a 3-minute and 15-second video that I watched. And I unfortunately can't share with you on this platform. But if you go on my threads, or if you go on my TikTok, it also will be on my IG account. You will see the video and you can watch it yourself. All right, so let's go ahead and get right into, I'm going to break down the video of what you can learn from what J. Cole actually did. It's not the fact that he's a lame, because I know I'm seeing a lot of people say that J. Cole is a lame for basically saying, I recognize my part and this is not what I'm about. And it's not a fact that he's a lame, because he didn't surrender. It was more of a journey within himself. And the first step, if you listen to what he said in that video, is reflection. He talked about the fact that he took a step back and realized that this is not him. He talked about the fact that he took a step back and recognized that this is not the way of his path and his purpose. And I'm going to get a little bit into that as I go down the line. But the first step is reflection. And if you've been rocking with me for a little bit, you know on my social media platforms, I talk about reflection. The reason why I do is because not only it's the first pillar of the 7 essential pillars, tongue twister, 7 essential pillars to living and loving your dope life. It's essential because it could save you a ton of time. Now, for example, he mentioned 2 days he recognized of his part that he played. So while he was doing the work within himself and checking with himself, within 2 days, it saved him that amount of time. Now, you know how beefs can go in hip hop. They can go for a very lengthy amount of time. But in 2 days, he recognized that this is not it. This is not what he's about anymore. And he's not this person. And it took him just taking a step and looking within himself. That was the first part that kind of jumped towards me. The second was when he said he was being tested. Now, again, if you rock with me, I talk about as much as you grow, you're going to be tested. Like, and we hate it. We dislike it. We don't like it. It's annoying. But no matter how much you grow, you're going to be tested time and time and time again. No matter how much you heal, you're going to be tested time and time and time again. He was hearing it from his boys, the public. He said that on his phone, he had almost 1,000 missed calls and text messages. Now, talk about a test right there at his back, because here he is. He's at this point of his life where he realizes, I'm not that person, but the test came in and he said people wanted to see blood. They wanted to see him react. And he reacted. He had this person here, that person here. He had, entertainment, social media coming at him. He reacted. He used the word tested. Now, I'm going to come back to that in a minute, but I want you to keep that in the back of your head. The third was ego. Now, I'm sure we've all heard that our ego can help us grow and it can hinder us. And sometimes you may even heard the saying, check your ego at the door. But he talked about how he felt like he had to respond based on these people all saying something. He felt like he had to say something, right? That's his ego talking too. Although he has all these people around him, he's being tested. His ego in himself say, yo, are you going to respond? What are you doing? He's not seeing clear at that point. He said people wanted to see blood. All he was seeing was red at that moment. His ego came up and was at the forefront. Not the person he had become over all those years. It was his ego that pushed him for it. The fourth point that he talked about was disruption of peace. Now, you know me, if you've been rocking with me, if you're new here, I don't like nothing disrupting my peace, and neither should you, especially when you finally are living in your own inner peace, your own sanctuary. And peace can be something as simple as just silence and being surrounded in environments of people who are also living in peace and who also just want to live in joy and choose peace and choose love, right? When you surround yourself with those people, you attract things differently, right? And he said that disrupted his peace. That goes back to the test point. He was tested, his ego popped in, disruption of his peace. But at the time, he wasn't really recognizing that the disruption of the peace was coming in. He had no idea that was happening. Now comes in where he talks about accountability, purpose, and path. Accountability, purpose, and path. And this is where I was quite annoyed when people were saying that he was lame. The reason why y'all are saying that J. Cole is lame is because he has the maturity to say and the maturity to hold himself accountable and stay on his purpose and path that he's aligned with, to say that that's not him. That's not who he was. If you watch the video, he says that I can't believe that this is who I was 10 years ago. I'm not that person right now. This ain't me no more. It's taking me off my purpose and path. Going back down, reflection. He realized when he reflected, he said, this is not who I am. This is not who I'm about. How dare I step back after all those 10 years of all the work I've done? One of the quotes that he said that hit me the most. The past 2 days have been terrible. That I can't believe I've been sleeping that peaceful for the past 10 years. Do you see how 2 days disrupted and also made him aware of the fact that, 10 years I've been sleeping real good. And I've allowed my ego to come up. I've allowed myself to come off my purpose. I've allowed other people around me to disrupt my peace by telling me that yin, 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 you got to say, you got to reply, you got to say something. That it disrupted his 10 years of him being in peace. Now, I want you to think about something real quick. The next time that someone disrupts your peace, the next time that someone try to call you out of your name, the next time that you are tested, you got to start looking within yourself. Quick. If you remember, I said he got 1,000 text messages and phone calls, and his boys, everyone saying, everybody on the internet, you got to reply, J. Cole, you got to reply, right? The first thing he should have done was shut everybody up. Go and find some peace, all right? If you ever find yourself being tested and you got everybody around you like ning, ning, ning in your ears, go and find some peace. Be like, you know what? No, pause. Pause is a beautiful thing, y'all. Pause, walk away. This ain't for me. Let me deep dive into who I am now. Not the version I was X amount of time ago, who I am right now. Let me tap into that. Find your solitude, find your peace, find your silence. That's the first step you got to do. The second step, you got to ask yourself this question, because remember, he talked about reflection. Reflection is asking yourself sometimes these questions and taking a step back and being like, this is the question you got to ask. Is this going to help me move forward? Is this going to help me move forward? Me responding, me tapping into that, me even just trying to allow that to become part of me. Is this going to help me move forward? Chances are it's not. Chances are it's not going to help you. Chances are it's not even going to move the needle. It's going to take you right back. All right? And when it comes to self-improvement and personal growth, you don't want that. You want to be able to move forward. The second question you got to ask yourself is this. Is my ideal version of myself, my future version of myself, the legacy I want to leave behind, are they going to be okay with me actually acting on this? Because it's a test. Are they going to be okay with me replying to this? Because this is a test. Hence why I said, all those people around you, all the ning, the ego, you check that, you go in a place of silence, you don't mess with it, you leave it alone, and you check in with you. The third step that you can take when those tests come up, just like how J. Cole said, it took him a few days to realize, yo, this ain't me. You write out your thoughts. Journaling is a beautiful gift. Whether you grab this exact device you're on and you do voice journaling, whether you do a video journaling, or you just do the old school, grab a piece of paper, grab a book, and you write everything out. It's a beautiful gift that will save you a ton of time and will save you a ton of stress. And it's free. It's absolutely free. And the absolute last step you can take, and I don't know if he did it, he talked about being on his own spiritual journey, is you sit down in that same silence, because all of this should be done in silence. Nobody should be influencing your thoughts at that point, because that's exactly what happened. He had people in his ear. He had people around him. He had just people on the internet, entertainment industry in his ear. So when you put yourself in silence, it's just you and God. You, God, whatever you believe in, your ancestors, it's you and the universe that just sitting there. And let me tell you something. When you sit there with yourself and you have these higher ups and these forces, they're only looking out for the best of you. They're going to give you exactly what you need. So the final step is you sit down with your ancestors, universe, or God, whatever you believe in. Give a conversation. Hey, yo, do you really think this is part of my path, part of my purpose? More than likely, they're going to tell you no. You meditate, you pray, you do any spiritual awakening exercise you got to do. It's going to center you back. Sometimes, y'all, silence is the absolute best answer. You don't need to respond to everything. We don't need to respond to everything that's being put in front of us. Just because someone's probably going to call you out your name, it don't mean that you got to respond. One of the best things I do when somebody tries to bring me back down to where I was many years ago is I'm like, you know what? You got it. I'm not going to respond to that, because the work that I've done, my integrity, my purpose, my alignment, the peace, the love, the joy that I have for myself will not be tainted with your little bit bad negative energy and bad attitude. J. Cole is not lame. He's mature. He held himself accountable. And some of us, just some of us, need to learn and replicate what he just did. All right? That's all I got for y'all. My name is Coach AJ, Dope Life Coach. I hope you got some really good steps out of it. Remember what I said. If you're being tested in any way, shape, or form, first one is you reflect. You ask yourself those self-reflection questions, all right? And if you check on my link below, I have a lot of free guides, and a lot of them have some steps where you do a lot of self-reflection, all right? They're all free, guys. The link will be in the description. The second thing you got to do is have a conversation. Have a conversation with the higher up. Nothing wrong with that. Sorry, that was the third. The second one was write out your thoughts. The thing also I want to add in about writing your thoughts, when you start writing out your thoughts, you're going to recognize, and it's happened to me, those moments like, you know that the emoji that's like mind blown? Yeah, you're going to recognize those mind blown moments when you're like, whoa, okay. Once that ego and everything's at the door, and all you got is yourself, and you have to have a conversation with yourself, and you're writing out those thoughts, it will save you a ton of time. And all these steps, if you notice, are free. They don't cost you anything, which is lovely. I like free. You like free? I like free. Anyways, go ahead, please subscribe to this podcast. I greatly appreciate you. Don't set the notification that you never miss another episode. Leave a review. Comment below. What do you think? Do you think that J. Cole was lame, or do you think he's mature in holding himself accountable? Again, I'm Coach AJ, Dope Life Coach. Walk with peace, but walk with love.